My name is Beezito and you're watching the monthly budget build for New Zealand. Now this is going to be less of a go through each part video and slightly less advice than normal because I want to refer back to the original build that we had in March, or April actually, so the start of April, the end of March. Now the format of today's video is going to consist of this. I'm going to go through each part individually, see what's changed in price to see if there's anything that's changed. Second of all, we are going to check the overall price difference between if it changed between April and now. We're going to of course go over the differences during this as well. And I'm going to give you guys a little bit of advice, and to top it all off on top of that, yes, I have looked at prices at the moment, and yeah, we'll go over my final thoughts at the end.
This guy still has unactivated Windows. I keep telling him to activate it, but he won't listen. You know what that means.
Bro, this guy locked the door again. I know how to fix this. Where's my wallet? Check out Keysfan.com for cheap Windows keys. If you use coupon code BEZ50, you can get 50% off Windows licenses. And if you use code BEZ62, you can get 62% off Microsoft Office. And they also have a Microsoft Office and Windows 11 bundle. You can pay via PayPal, and they have a pretty good customer support team. Check out Keysfan, linked in the description. And don't get locked in your room with Mr. Gorilla. So let's start this video off by comparing the first part, the CPU. So on an individual basis, we have the Ryzen 5 7500F, and in the original video, it was $279, now it's down to $264.50. So on a slight discount from Extreme PC. We open this up here, and yep, it's on a little bit of a sale from Extreme PC at the moment. So that's actually pretty good. I'm not sure when this sale ends. Hopefully not when this video comes out. It should be tomorrow, so the 6th of May. But $264 from $279 is a nice discount that we have for the processor. Second off, we are going to go to the motherboard. Now, unfortunately, I did have to swap the motherboard out. I've gone with the Sapphire B650ME M-ATX motherboard. Now, it does have slightly better specs than the original A620AM over here. So I believe the main difference was the PCIe 5.0 support for M.2 SSDs. So unfortunately, we don't have that on the A620M, but we have now upgraded to the B650M-E. Now, is this an upgrade that I would have said is worth it on the budget end? No, and the reason I have changed it is because they are out of stock of the A620AM. I would have gone $15 cheaper and just gone with the A620M if I'm choosing a budget processor. And honestly, it was a good enough board, but yeah, we are going to have to spend $15 extra now, and it kind of accounts for a little bit of the price difference overall, which you guys will see later. It's a nice budget board. It's not really anything special, but yeah, I mean, once we kind of hit the 180 range, it's kind of like, oh, okay, well, we can kind of look at other options, but honestly, at this price for 180, I think it's a pretty good offering. Next up, we have the RAM. So RAM is, I have an important note to make here. I'll go over it right now. In the original video, I said CU DIMM, and I explained what CU DIMM was then, but for AM5, it is actually not compatible. You can't use CU DIMM with AM5 processors. So I left the note here, you cannot use it with Ryzen 7000. Please buy a normal kit, which is why here we actually do have a normal kit of RAM, 16 gigabytes of DDR5 4800 CL40 for $300. It was the same price from a Paradigm PCs here. So yeah, that's a little bit of a difference, but basically the same price. We have gone with 16 gigabytes of RAM, a single stick here. Now please, 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 I think 16 gigabytes is a good option. And going for 8 is probably not worth it. There are other ways to get this done without using desktop RAM, so you can use laptop RAM. I'm going to have a video coming out on this soon, so I actually got a steal on this a couple of months ago. It was like $100 New Zealand for DDR5 laptop RAM, and I'm going to test it out with this adapter from AliExpress. You should see that video at the end of this month, at the end of May. So it'll be quite a good video. I'm going to test the adapter, I'm going to test the RAM. I actually have got a really good deal on another kit of DDR5 for 8 gigabytes for $50. So yeah, I mean, I got lucky twice. So that one's also coming soon, and you guys will see that as well as a video. So yeah, if you guys have a look out, you can get some good laptop RAM, and apparently these adapters work, but I haven't tried it yet, so I can't tell you for sure. But we're going to try it out with my 7800 X3D, and I'll let you guys know. We're going to head over to the SSD now, and the SSD has a little bit of a difference. So the SSD, we've gone with the same one, we've kept it the same, but it's increased by, what was that, $20? So that's really unlucky, right? It went from 95 to 115, and I noticed that as well with a lot of SSDs that have gone up in price. I'm going to give the same advice as usual. If you don't have anything important that you need to back up that's critical, if you can afford to lose stuff, if you have just games on your drive, you're just using it as a gaming PC, then yeah, buy a second-hand drive, hard drive specifically, to decrease your costs. So, you know, like even a second-hand SSD is not that bad. I'd probably use one personally as well if I had to. But if you do have critical data, maybe stay away from it, at least for the critical data stuff. So, you know, photos of your dog, important, I don't know, photos and videos, stuff like that, that's irreplaceable. Then yeah, it's probably better to get something brand new over something secondhand. But I will caveat that fully. If you're just playing games, you're just not going to put anything important on it, then yeah, go secondhand. 115 for 512 gig. I recently saw an Intel SSD go for like $64 on auction for a 480 gig SATA SSD on Trade Me recently. So do keep an eye out. I did see a few good deals for SSDs recently, so have a look out. Yeah, you can always score something good. Yeah, I'm gonna move on from this, pretty short. So we're gonna go over to the graphics card now. The graphics card, we have got the 7600 on both of these builds, except we have the Asus Dual Evo here. The XFX Speedster was not available, so we've gone from 516/35 to 509. Between the differences in like the brand, I'm not actually sure, and card, but I mean, we're going to say it's relatively the same performance. It is an RX 7600. Now, this is a part of the video that is a little bit weird. So we have two outcomes for this build for this month. We have the one with the RX 7600, and then I also have thrown in a RX 9060 XT. So the RX 9060 XT is actually a pretty good card, I'd say, and for $639, it's not bad at all. It is only 8 gigabytes of VRAM, so if you can, you know, get something a little bit better, like the 16 gig model, then I'd probably go for that. But for $639, it's actually a pretty good offering here if you guys want to replace the 7600. Now, I am going to add another caveat here and say that if you are going to buy a graphics card below like $500, this is kind of where my budget mark was meeting. I didn't really want to go over this. go secondhand. Get an RTX 3070. We're aiming at 1080p anyways, right? An RTX 3070, a 6700 XT, if you can get one. Those are probably the cards I'd go for at the moment. Yeah, I probably wouldn't aim for many other cards under that price range, but yeah, an RTX 3070 will do you pretty good, especially at 1080p. 1440p will of course be like around about 60 FPS on most modern titles. Maybe a little bit of help from DLSS where VRAM is an issue and lowering your settings. But yeah, RTX 3070, 6700 XT for under 500 if you guys can get a good deal on that. And yeah, that about sums it up for graphics cards. Let's head over to the case. So the case, we've kept it the same. So this is the Silverstone Lucid 04, and I believe the price is the same. So 89 from first wave, 89 from first wave from before. Nothing fancy. It's an okay looking case. It comes with all the fans installed. Of course, feel free to change this out for something else if you want to. There's other cases, and you can go second hand as well, like off Trade Me or Facebook Marketplace if that's your thing. But yeah, change it out if you guys don't like it. I wouldn't say that this is the main case I would buy. It's just a case that looked good and came with 3 fans. Next up, we have the power supply. So the power supply, we've gone with the Cooler Master MWE Gold V3 650 watt gold certified power supply. It is not modular, and the price has stayed the same. So it's 120.75, 120.75. So same price on both power supplies here. Yeah, that's pretty good, right? And it's a solid power supply. Kind of explained like the tier list over here. So if you guys want a bit of a more deeper explanation into the parts that we've chosen, I suggest you go and check the April 2026 video. It'll be linked in the description as well. Let's head over to the overall price now. So the overall price is $1570 for April 2026, and with pretty much the same build, we have gone up to $1584.87, and that's with a better motherboard and the same SSD that's gone up in price. So we are $15 basically over what we were last month. So some parts have dropped in price, like the processor, it's on special at the moment. But yeah, it did trend upwards, which is a little bit annoying. But I guess it's just the SSD that's really gone up in price. And the motherboard, we can't really help because they're out of stock, you know. But it would have been nice to have it exactly the same. I believe when I did initially look at this like 3 days ago, they did have the... And if you guys want to hear a little bit more detailed advice, I definitely suggest going and watching the original video. I think I have some good advice in there, I hope. And we'll continue to do these videos as the months progress, because I am pretty curious to see how prices are continually tracking over the months, especially as things start to cool off a little bit in terms of RAM prices increasing. They seem to stabilize, especially the DDR5, so we'll see how it goes going forward. Kind of scrambled for my final thoughts here. Keep it cheap as possible. Make sure you're actually building to what you need. Do you really need like a high-end graphics card? Are your games more CPU bound? What resolution are you actually playing at? Are you going to play at 1080p, 1440p? That will affect your purchasing decisions quite heavily. For example, if you're going to play at 1440p, you're going to need a card that's able to perform at 1440p well enough to your expectations. You know, if you grab like an RTX 3070 that I mentioned earlier, that's cheaper, it can play 1440p games quite well, but without DLSS helping it along, it's got issues with how quick it is in modern games for 1440p. Second off, it's got VRAM issues, so it can only handle so much. in like a game like Stalker 2, it can't handle the game well because it's running out of VRAM. So that's a huge issue. And alongside that, buying secondhand as much as you can. Go ahead and buy secondhand parts as much as you can. That RTX 3070, stuff like that. Sorry, I'm getting a bit sidetracked, but I probably won't edit this that much because I need to put this video out tomorrow. And yeah, don't worry too much, I'd say. And go watch the original video for more advice. I really hope if you guys are watching this that you go ahead and watch the original video. I think my advice is a little bit more solid and more cohesive and consistent there. So I'm sorry about that today. I haven't kept it exactly cohesive or consistent. But yep, that about sums up this video. Go and check out westtech.org for some more awesome content. But other than that, stay safe, stay healthy, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye!